Right here is what I would recommend everybody to have for their dogs. If any of our dogs are on meds, this is the meds and what they're on and how much they got to take. If our dogs, the last time our dogs were dewormed, if when our dog is in heat, what's glistening, Bully fam? CK here, and welcome back to Diamond Gang Bullies. Today we're going to give you an exclusive behind the scenes look at our custom kennel shed setup. It's designed for the comfort of our dogs, the cleanliness of our dogs, and that overall health for our dogs, that next level care. You ready? Let's go. As you can see, what we started with a 35 by 35 foot area for our dogs. It's gated off so it makes it a little bit easier. It's the little pool that we use when it's really hot outside. We put water in so they can run around. But this area right here, we're in the process of making a little bit of kennel runs. They're going to be 5 by 10 foot areas. So each dog has its own area. And they can be outside all day for hours together instead of, an hour here separate, but this is what we do to make sure our dogs are outside and getting the constant care and play that they deserve. But this here, we just started off with a 10 by 12 shed that we designed for our care and the well-being of our dogs. Well, it's in this area. You see the double doors, everything, solar cameras, lights, and everything. But the double doors, we're in the process of creating one door to make it a little bit more secure. As you can see, let's go. See, this is the area. This is where everything is. It's lighted. Each dog has its own cage for the comfort of them, where they're not crowded with two dogs to a cage. Each dog has its own cage. Lighting, fan, year-round AC or heat in case it gets a little too cold or a little too hot. The fan runs all day for them, as you can see. We started with a vinyl floor, so it's easier to clean and things like that. Easier cleaning for sweeping and mopping because it's daily. It's disinfected daily. Every day it's disinfected. We start over here. There's a lot of our whelping supplies that we keep here, such as you see, milk replacement, oxygen tube, thermometers, a bunch of different tube feedings if we have to tube feed, numerous of those, nipples, This here, if a lot of people don't know, is actually gold. This colloidal silver is what we use when we're using in our incubator in case of, upper respiratory illnesses or infections and things like that. A few drops of this and it helps tremendously. Research it and trust me, use it. Then here is a lot of our breeding supplies. As you can see, Oxy Stud, Oxy Mamas, Oxy Mates. This here is just we use to make sure if any of our dogs have any UTIs or anything, we keep these on deck. This here is something I would recommend. What we do is we use this every time we're getting ready to breed. This is what we use to flush our females. This here is a lot of medications. As you can see, it's just different medications and things. This here is for, as you can see, this drawer here is for different medications we use for like the eyes and the ears and antibiotics. You got to keep that chlorhexidine solution for cleaning and everything like that, as well as bathing. This here we use a lot too. It's a light solution. It gives them a lot of vitamins, amino acids, and electrolytes, as you can see. This here, a lot of people probably don't know, but I use this a lot too. Whenever my dogs, after their breedings and things like that, it's called Power Punch. It's a high potency nutrient energy drench that I use. I give them just a little bit in their water twice a day, and this has helped bring them back and works wonders. You know, another, as you can see, that Diamond Gang Bullies. We go. Here is something that I would recommend to keep in your shed or your kennel or everything, so you can obviously always monitor the temperature inside your shed or out. You know, if it's too cold, too hot, you'll know. This here has helped wonders. Right here is what I would recommend everybody to have for their dogs. You know, if any of our dogs are on meds, this is the meds and what they're on and how much they got to take. If our dogs, the last time our dogs were dewormed, when our dog is in heat and when their next heat is, when they were bred, when we got to give the ultrasound and the relaxing test to confirm, and when they're due. I would recommend everybody to start doing that with their breedings. This here is some of the things, some of our syringes, you know, the scale for the puppies, brand new syringes, our incubator for when we have puppies that I built, and I'll be showing you later in another video how we built it. One of our oxygen concentrators, this is a smaller one. We have a bigger one in the house that we keep there. You know, the balls that we use to play with the dogs every day, to run around and throw in the yard. This here is something you have to have if you're a breeder. This here, this Pedialyte, you have to keep this when it's hot for dehydrations, as well as, you know, this green alcohol. So when it gets too hot, you put it on their stomach, under their arms, and on the pads of their feet. This will help if you're having a heat stroke or in the process of a dog getting overheated, as well as, you know, this lemon juice. You got to keep these three things. I would recommend for any dog, and especially for us with bullies, because they tend to overheat a lot faster due to their smashed muzzles. You got to keep gloves. These gloves here, everything here is about cleanliness. If you're breeding bulls or any dogs that you have, you know, this is what we started. This here is what we started out with before our progesterone machine, which is a Battersog ovulation detector. I actually had a lot of success with this. Using this is almost like it's actually as good as a progesterone machine. The thing is, you got to use it every day to check the levels of your female. But if you don't have a PG machine, I would recommend one of these. This here has guaranteed success. It's actually helped me. You know, some of our pipette tips for, you know, blood drawing for PG machine or PGs. Another pipette. Our relaxing tests. More pipette tips. This here is our own ultrasound machine that we use to confirm our litters. I actually do, you know, I help people confirm their own litters in upstate New York. If you need help, reach out to me at DiamondGangBullies on Instagram. Our TCI machine, which we use, you know, we do our own TCIs, our own AIs, you know, and if anybody needs any repo services such as AIs, TCIs, we actually help with that. But this is it. We have our own TCI gun, you know, microscope, so we can, you know, check the semen quality of our own dogs, or if we're paying for breeding services, and we're getting the semen shipped in. This is the progesterone machine we use. A Mongo Cube progesterone machine. You know, a lot of people seem to have problems with this machine. At first, I was having problems until I contacted somebody, and this is what they explained to me. A lot of people are starting to just, take the blood, spin it down, and put it in. No, you got to wait 15 minutes after you draw the blood so it can start to coagulate, which is clot. Once it clots, then you spin it down and put it in the machine. I've had about 80% success rate, but I don't know if I'm going to keep this one and then either get a Wanfo or something else for a PG machine. But this machine also does thyroxine tests, which I would recommend. Thyroxine test has to deal with thyroid. If you don't know what a thyroxine test is, and put it in the comments. In my next video, I'll explain what it is, and then we could talk about it. This here, obviously, the progesterone machine. For the progesterone machine, we have two centrifuges. This one is for we use for semen to spin it down when we're breeding, and this one we use for when we're drawing blood for the PG test. As you can see, one of the cameras for security, and as you can see, some of the leashes and collars that we have. Another camera so we can see the other dogs. Lights. As I said, if this fan stays on all day, if it's too hot, we turn on the AC. If not, we turn it off. Some of the trophies that we won, as you can see, that bring the heat, which we will be going to in 2 days. Be ready, because Zelda will be there. This here is a stand. This here is a stand we use for when we're sitting here setting up to do our AIs or our TCIs. What we do is we set it up. We take this here and we set it up here so we have a level surface for our females when we're breeding, for that AI, TCI, as well as when we're cutting their nails. But this, people, is the setup for Diamond Gang Bullies. Everything here. This here is another light we use, so when we turn it on, it's actually very bright. But we do that here, so when we're doing cleaning or for our females, as you can see, where we keep our food. We bring in a 5-gallon bucket of water every day so we can make sure our dogs are watered twice a day. This is what we do, Bully Fam, in our kennel. If you see anything that can, be bettered, or you have any type of ideas, put it in the comments so I can see it, and then we'll see if it helps us. But as I said, Bully Fam, this is what we do in our kennel for the comfort of our dogs. Hey, Tonka. For the comfort of our bulls, the care of our bulls, the cleanliness of our bulls. They get about 3 to 4 hours a day of running outside. Zelda. Hey, Zelda. As you can see, our female. Wait till you see who she's lined up to be bred to. Oh my God. Bully world is about to be a problem. As you can see, Aziza, which she will be being bred back to her father. Hey, Mumu. Mumu. Aziza, our production. Miss Mumu. Yes, our production. And this is the guy. Kong Lee. Yes, my son. But as you can see, Bully Fam, you see, if you have any ideas that where we could better our setup, please let us know. I would show, I'm gonna show you up here, but this is where we keep all of our extra crates and kennels and our daily disinfectant. But yeah, As we say, pressure builds diamonds. And over here, we try to make everything built like that Diamond Gang Bullies vibe. Right, Tonka? What's up, mama? But yeah, our custom kennel setup. Once again, thank you, YouTube. If you see anything that could be bettered off or added to, please drop it in the comments. So, Bully fan, if you're serious about the bully game, it starts with the foundation, as you can see. The foundation. Everything starts with foundation. Let me know what y'all think of our setup in the comments. And if you want to see feeding routines, heat setup next, drop that below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on IG at Diamond Gang Bullies. Appreciate the support, Bully fam. Thanks.